Good evening from the kitchen, folks. Another air still video for you today. This time I'm going to put some homebrew wine through the air still and some cider that I've made. So first of all, here's the cider. So this is some that I just wrapped off yesterday, and there wasn't enough for me to fill this demijohn, so that means that there's a large air space. And if I leave it like this, that's not good. It's probably going to go like vinegar. So what I want to do is top it up with some wine that I'm not really enjoying, leave it for a couple of days, and then run it through the air still. So the two wines I'm going to put through a hoppy tea sparkling wine. I've got a bit fed up with the flavour, in all honesty. And then this pineapple and mango one. Again, I've got fed up with the flavour. It's a bit strong. I'm not enjoying it, so I think I'd rather just still it and turn it into schnapps. So this stage in the process is fairly straightforward. I've just got to take the airlock out, pop a funnel in, and then get my wines opened. Pour them in, and then I'm just going to leave it for a couple of days in case it starts fermenting again. So the pineapple and mango one didn't really carb. There was a little tiny pot there, but nothing of any significance. I think it's fair to say it was a slight failure. It tasted okay to begin with, but then I just stopped enjoying it. The hoppy tea wine was always a challenging one, and I'm not going to miss it. This one did carb. And it does seem okay to put carved wine through the air still. I have put some stuff in with sparkle before and it's been okay. I've not seen any negative effects. Right, so this is almost full. I'm going to leave this one. I won't open this one for now. So I'm just going to put the airlock back in, and I'm now going to leave this just for a day or two in case mixing it together kickstarts the fermentation again. And then I'll come back to it. So I'll catch you when it's ready to go in the still. So welcome to the conservatory, folks. Let's get on with the stilling. So we're into autumn, so the conservatory doubles up as a winter greenhouse. But I've got my air still set up like I always do just here, and I'm going to pour the combination of cider and wine, etc. from the demijohn into the still. And I'm going to fill it as far as I can. There is an internal full marker, and I'm going to go right to that. There you go. It's taken nearly the entire demijohn. A demijohn is a gallon or 4.54 litres, and that's definitely taken 4 litres. What's left is actually pretty cloudy and pretty ugly looking, so I might just chuck this away anyway. So then it's lid on. And I need to get this lined up so I can plug the electrics in. So on the outside here there is an attachment to connect the lid to the body of the air still. And that's all in place now. So I'll just show you what I've got. So here's the still set up. I've got the extra attachment in, which will be going into the jug just there. I'm going to collect the first 150ml of what comes out in the jug down there, and I'm going to dispose of that. That's called the heads. And then I'm going to keep the main part that comes out, which is called the hearts. The heads can contain some things which can give off flavours, and there is some rumour that it can also cause some dangerous things health-wise, but there's also a body of text online that says that that is a bit of a myth. I'm just going to be on the safe side, I think, and I am going to dispose of it. So here goes. And this is going to take well over an hour, so I'll give you a progress update once that starts. Just an update, an hour and 10 minutes later, and the heads have started to drip through. So I'm just waiting for this to get to the 150ml mark, which is just there. So what's dripping through now will be round about 70% ABV. Right, I've got 150ml in there now. You can see it's completely and utterly clear. I'm now going to turn this off for a second. I'm just going to wait for the dripping to stop, and then I'm going to change the setup. So just to demonstrate to you the purity of what's come out of the still, I'm just going to pour a tiny bit in the bottom of this tapas dish and see for yourself. That's now burning away as pure alcohol. So this bit that's hanging down here I'm going to remove. I need to squeeze the plastic tabs in to do so. Slightly easier said than done, and it can fly off like that did. No drama. Right, here's the modified setup. So what I've got here, this brass thing, this copper thing, is called a parrot. And the parrot collects the alcohol, which then rises here. And inside the parrot is an alcometer, and that will rise and fall with the strength of the alcohol. That allows me to see the ABV of what is being produced by the still at any one time. The liquid then comes out of here and collects in the bottle. Very simple. So I'm going to switch the still back on, and the alcometer will begin to rise in the parrot in a few minutes' time once the alcohol begins to drip in there. So the still is now making a popping and bubbling noise, which means that the alcohol is now dripping down into the parrot. And if we look from above, you should see some glistening at the side of the alcometer, and that is the liquid in the bottom of the parrot. The alcometer will rise and we'll be able to see what this percentage is very shortly. Okay, the meniscus is just about to break over the top there, and the dripping will start soon, but what is coming out of here is, according to the alcometer, 59% alcohol by volume. And there we go, the dripping into the bottle has now started. So it's really now just a case of playing the waiting game, and I'll turn this off when what's coming out, alcohol by volume wise, drops to below 15%. So just while I'm waiting for the bottle to fill, I need to ask you, are you following my YouTube channel, Moss Home and Garden? You can find it very easily at www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. And while we're talking social media, are you also on my Facebook page for Moss Home and Garden? Please follow that also. And if you follow me on Instagram, then I'm at Stu Moss, STUMOSS. If you follow me, send me a message, say that you've seen this on the Moss Home and Garden YouTube page. I'll give you a follow back. Just a little progress update. This has been going a good 40 minutes, and it's somewhere between 40 and 50% which is coming out, and I've almost got 2/3 of a bottle full. Okay, so a further update, and what is coming out now is just under 30%, but this bottle's getting full, so I'm going to swap it over for the other one. So I'm getting down to 15% now, so what I'm going to do is switch this off. And I'm not going to do anything for at least 30 minutes because that is red hot inside there. So I don't want to do anything until it's had a chance to just cool down a little bit. Okay, so what I need to do first of all is to remove the alcometer. And I'm just going to pop that into this bottle here. Then the parrot, I need to gradually just move out. I want to tip the contents of the parrot into this bottle. Very gently. Right, I need to lift the top off the still, which is why I've left it to cool a little bit, because it's very hot and steamy inside. You'll see when I lift it off. So I'm just going to undo the electrics and kind of just try and lift it. It's not as easy as you might think. And you'll see the steam coming out there. So there's a lot of liquid left in the still. That is the tails. The heads was the first bit that came out. That gets discarded. This will eventually be discarded, but not quite yet. And this is the hearts, the good stuff that is being kept. Now I've got one more bottle of wine that I want to get rid of, and I'm going to add it to the tails and then run that through the still as well. So this is the other bottle of wine that I want to get rid of. It's just another bottle of that hoppy tea sparkling wine. So I'm just getting the cage off and the bung out. There we go. So So I'm just adding the wine into the air still, which will bring it up back to capacity. Now, because that's a sparkling wine and there's a minor chance of a little eruption, I've got some distilling conditioner which came with the air still, and I'm going to add that to it, and what that does is it damps down any potential fire. And when I say fire, I don't mean actual fire, I mean eruption of the liquid in there. So then it's a case of putting the lid back on, connecting the power back in, and now I take my empty parrot and put it back in place, my bottle underneath the parrot. So I've got my alcometer back inside the parrot. So again, we're going to go through the same process as before, into the bottle. So I'll switch the still back on. It won't take so long for it to kick in this time, maybe half an hour. This time I'm not going to separate the heads because it's going to be very diluted anyway with what's already there in the tails, and I'm just going to collect that straight into this vessel. So a quick update, the popping sound has started and there is liquid now in the parrot. It'll be a few minutes before this starts to come through properly. So there we go, and you can see from looking at the spiritometer that what is coming out of here now is just over 30%, and that's dripping into this bottle here. So just an update, what is coming out of here now is under 20%, it's still above 15, so I'm just going to give it a little bit longer and then I'm going to knock it off. Okay, the output has now dropped to just over 10% ABV, so it's definitely time to switch off. I'm just going to remove the alcometer and pop it into this bottle here. And I'm going to slowly and steadily empty the parrot into this bottle. And that will basically give me 2 full bottles. These are 500ml bottles, so I've actually got a litre of spirit here. Let's see what the alcohol by volume is. So, first bottle. I'll pop the spiritometer in. Oh, I'm going to waste a bit. So this bottle is on 20%, so it's not a very strong bottle, this one. Now let's check the other bottle. And again, I'll drop the spiritometer in. And this bottle is on a lot stronger. So this one is on about 42% ABV. So between them I've got 31% ABV. So the 20% ABV bottle is fine. I don't need to do anything with that. But with the stronger bottle just here, I'm going to water this down now. And I'm going to water it down to 20%. I'm going to use some spring water to water this down. And I shall pour that in until the alcometer floats at 20%. And that's now on 20% ABV. I've got a clean and sanitised demijohn. I'm now going to pour this into the demijohn. Alongside the 20% bottle. So now what I've got here is about 2.5 litres of 20% ABV alcohol. This has been through the air still once. The first run is called the stripping run because it strips all the rubbish out of it to get this. It goes through again now once it's been watered down. Now it has to be watered down to 20% or less for safety reasons. It goes through again. This next run will be called the spirit run, and that, what comes out of there, is the base of the spirits that I'm going to make. So hopefully I'm going to make some fruity schnapps from this. It doesn't have a great deal of smell, but what is there smell-wise is a kind of a miscellaneous fruitiness. You couldn't put your finger on it, in all honesty. It's been 30 minutes. The still has cooled enough for me to remove the top very carefully still. Try Try and get that up, and they'll be very steamy. It does smell very nice. It smells like jam. If you've ever made jam at home, that's what the smell's like when it comes out. There's the tails in there. This unfortunately has to go down the sink. I have no use for it whatsoever. And then we'll begin the spirit run. I've got my demijohn of 20% spirit, which is going to go in here. The air still is now just under half full. It'll be a lot quicker run this time. So I need to get the lid back on and once again lined up so the electrics are in the right place. That's it. And then as before, I need to put my parrot in the right place, the spiritometer in the parrot, and the collection bottle underneath the parrot spout. Exactly the same setup as before. This looks fine to me, so it's time to switch it back on for the spirit run. So I'm just going to run this now the same as I did last time. On the spirit run, you don't need to worry too much about heads and tails and so forth, so I'm not going to be removing the first 150ml. I've already done that. I'm going to keep everything now that comes out of this. It should be absolutely crystal clear. This is going to be my base spirit, and I'm expecting to get round about 750ml at 40% ABV. Fingers crossed. I might not get that much, but let's see what happens. A quick spirit run update from the conservatory. After about 40 minutes, this started to come through, and it's currently coming through at just below 70% ABV. So basically rocket fuel at the minute. That will go down though, and I'm hoping for a net average of 40. So I'm on 50% now, and this bottle is about 2/3 of the way full. And sorry about the background noise, that is the rain on the conservatory roof. And yes, it's dark now. This is a long old job. Okay, the first bottle is full and the output of the still has dropped to 20%. So I'm going to swap bottles over now. I won't be collecting an awful lot more, but we'll just get a little bit. It's time to turn the still off. It's dropped to just above 10%, so there we go, the spirit runs over, and I'm just going to leave that to just settle down for a bit. So here's both my bottles. I simply need to pour these now into my demijohn through the funnel. 1 and 2, and I'm doing this so they're mixed together. So the full bottle that's just gone in is the high strength one, and that's the junior. So here's the spirit. I'm just going to mix it all together. Definitely mixed, no messing about. Hydrometer tube and funnel. I will pour in. So it's just about to the top, but not quite. And I will dip into this the alcometer to find out the alcohol by volume of the liquid in the tube. Lost a bit, that's a shame, but never mind. So what I've got in this tube is exactly 44%. So slightly higher than the average whiskey, rum, vodka strength, slightly higher. But 44, that's quite respectable. That's a nice number. So I'm leaving it at that. My 44% spirit is now in this demijohn, and I'm going to leave it in here for 3 days just to sort of get rid of the fieriness from the vapours in it. Hi folks, it's a Schnapps update. So this is 3 days later. I've transferred the Schnapps from the demijohn into this jug, and now I'm going to bottle it. I have got just under a litre, so I'm hoping that I can just fill these 2 bottles. Let's see what happens. Now if needs be, I can water it down very slightly to get it to 40, because it is over 40%. Okay, so that's fallen short. I need to rethink this. Okay. Okay, so I've added a bit of spring water and I've diluted it now to 40%. So back into the bottles we go. And that's perfect. Next up, I need to add a few drops of vegetable glycerin. This just takes some of the fire out. It smooths it off a little bit. Just a little bit. You don't want to put too much in, otherwise it goes a bit soapy. That's plenty. Now in terms of my flavours, I'm going to do a strawberry schnapps and an apricot schnapps. Now I did a strawberry schnapps a month ago and my wife and I both loved it, so I'm going to do this in the larger bottle. And this is my protein flavour drops. And I shall put a pipette and another pipette in there. And that's ample. In the smaller bottle, I'm going to add some of this Mangrove Jack's apricot. So I should just pour that in. And that's enough of that. Okay, I'm now going to leave these to breathe for 3 more days, and then I'll cap them, label them, and put them away for Christmas. Or whenever I decide to drink them. Okay, I've got my schnapps labels made up in a simple Microsoft Word template. So I'll seal these and then label them. Wonderful invention, the flip. And the good old humble bung's not so bad either. Just label the apricot one to begin with. Now the strawberry. And there they are. So that's it from me for now. I'm going to put these away for a month and then it'll be opening and sampling. So I'll catch you then. Good evening from the kitchen, folks. It's my apricot schnapps and strawberry schnapps opening night. And yes, I am excited about this one. They've been in the bottles for 2 months and now I'm ready to open them and see what they're like. I'm going to begin with the apricot. Nice easy flip. Doesn't have a strong smell, but it doesn't smell bad either. That's always a good sign. Okay, let's see how this pours. It's very clear, but you might not be able to tell because the kitchen's a little bit steamy at the minute because I've been cooking, but it is completely clear. So this is a coloured glass. If it looks a little bit green, it's because of the glass, not because of the spirit. Now I'm getting the fruit hit. Now I can get my nose into it. Yeah, it wasn't immediately coming out of the bottle, but yeah, you definitely get it now. So a little sip. Wow. Whoa. That's strong. Ah. What is the ABV of this? It's 40%. Yeah, it tastes it. It's fiery, okay? It's more fiery than what I expected it to be. This is definitely one to add to a mixer. I imagine it would probably be quite nice with something like lemonade, ginger ale, something like that. Something that's a bit soft, not too harsh. I wouldn't put it with tonic and I wouldn't put it with bitter lemon. But something that's a little bit softer would be quite fine. But yeah, this is not a shotter for me, but it's definitely one which I could drink in a mixer. So now moving on to the strawberry one. I'm expecting the bung to break, by the way, because it's on its last legs. Yeah, there we go. Let's see how else I'm going to get this out. Corkscrew. Sorry for this, just a little minor technical difficulty. Just shows you that this is all real. And there we go. Get that out. Right. Now the smell of this is much more apparent. So this is probably down to the brand of flavouring. This is quite pleasant actually. And in actual fact, it doesn't smell like strawberry, it smells like cherry. Let's have a little taste. Appropriate coloured glass. Cheers, folks. Much more pleasant. So it's definitely down to the flavouring, absolutely. Now the fruitiness comes through, the sweetness comes through, but it's still quite fiery. I wouldn't want to shop this, I'll be honest with you, and it's not something I would drink neat, but I would definitely drink it with ginger ale,
maybe lemonade, but I think this is more suited towards ginger ale, something nice and soft. Because these are quite fiery, I think they need to be balanced with something a little bit softer when you're drinking it. So not ginger beer, ginger ale, a nice soft one, Schnapps, something like that. Other brands, of course, are fine. Anyway, it's been an experience. I've showed you how you can turn old, failed homebrew wine into something which is a little bit more palatable, albeit with a mixer. Okay, so I've enjoyed it. It's a learning curve as always, and I will learn from this when I do the next stilling. You learn by doing, and that's massively what this is all about. So cheers, folks, and I'll catch you on the next brew, or the next still, or the next recipe, or whatever it may be. Cheers. Whew.
The film that you've just watched is a Moss Home and Garden production. You can find more by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. I'd just like to say thank you very much for supporting my YouTube channel and for watching my films. It really is very much appreciated. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel in order to receive future updates about the home and garden films which I upload. You can find my YouTube channel by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. Please click on the red subscribe button. When you've done that, a little bell will appear. If you press that also, then you'll get future updates about the films which I upload. If you like my films, if you like my style of filming, then you might also like my travel channel, which you will find by going to youtube.com/Stuart Moss or type in www.mosstravel.tv. Again, if you could subscribe to that channel, it would be hugely appreciated. If you'd like to get Moss Home and Garden updates on Facebook, then please open Facebook and do a search for Moss Home and Garden, and you will find the page. If you like the page, then you will get future updates on there. And if you'd like to connect on Instagram for home, garden and travel photography, as well as some stories, then my username is StuMoss, STUMOSS. If you'd like to connect on Twitter, then my username is @StuartMoss. And if you'd like to contact me about film usage or any other issue, please just email me on stewmosshomegarden@gmail.com. Once again, thank you very much for supporting my channel, for watching my films. I do appreciate it. I'd just like you all to have a great day.